So if anyone is actually stupid enough to believe anything that Donald Trump says, they might believe that paper straws are now banned in the United States. And they might believe that because that's what Donald Trump said. He said he was signing an executive order to ban paper straws. Now, that is absolutely absurd. There is no ban on paper straws, as I will explain, but nonetheless, millions of Americans will now believe that paper straws are banned because their orange God king so decreed. Now, before I get to dealing with the substance of this, let's begin with the comments that this idiot made from the Oval Office about banning paper straws. I promise this is a quick clip. Watch this.
We're going back to plastic straws. These things don't work. I've had them many times, and on occasion they break, they explode. If something's hot, they don't last very long, like a matter of minutes, sometimes a matter of seconds. It's a ridiculous situation. So we're going back to plastic straws. I think it's okay.
Okay, before I get to the substance of this executive order, can we just acknowledge what a blithering idiot this man is? I mean, first of all, I'd be surprised as hell if this man ever actually used a paper straw, but putting that aside, he said that they explode, that paper straws explode. Okay, I'm pretty sure that if anyone was using a paper straw at any point in time and it exploded in their face, I'm pretty sure we would have heard about that. And you know, what's really annoying about this, on top of the fact that we have elected an idiot like this buffoon to be president, aside from that, we had members of the media in the Oval Office watching him make these ridiculous statements. And there's no follow-up questions. They never have any follow-up questions. He says that paper straws explode and nobody questions him about that. Can you provide us some proof? Can you provide us some details of an incident where a paper straw exploded? Because I'd really like to understand what the physical and chemical properties are, that lead to a paper straw exploding. Okay, what is it about a paper straw that when it comes in contact with chocolate milk or Gatorade or Diet Coke, that it chemically reacts in such a way that it explodes? I'd like to know the science behind that. Of course, there is none. It's ridiculous. Anyway, that's our pathetic media. But let's deal with the substance of this for a minute. Okay, obviously, a president has no authority to ban paper straws. There is no ban. Okay, doesn't matter what he says. There is no ban on paper straws. If we want to ban paper straws or plastic straws or whatever the hell else we might want to ban, that would have to go through Congress, assuming that the Constitution empowers Congress to ban whatever it is that they're trying to ban. Now, Congress has broad authorities under the Commerce Clause to pass legislation like that, but it would have to come through Congress, okay, because it would require a change in the law. And the president doesn't have any power to change law. So this is a meaningless executive order. Let's get to the meat of it. All right. I tried to look up on the White House's website the exact language of the executive order. It's not up there yet. So I had to look up for an article, and I found one from Fox News. It was right at the top of my search results. So let's go with that. Here's what they wrote. President Donald Trump signed an executive order on Monday ending the procurement and forced use of paper straws. The order directs the federal government to stop purchasing paper straws and ensure they are no longer offered in federal buildings. Does that sound to you like a ban, a nationwide ban on paper straws, like is reported and what people believe? No, all this is, since it's an executive order, we've talked about this on this channel many times, all an executive order is an order by the president to his executive branch. That's it, okay? And in this paper straw executive order, he's telling the executive branch, you are no longer allowed to buy paper straws. So who's this going to affect? Is it going to affect me and you if we want to use a paper straw? No. It might affect someone like, for example, someone who works in the Treasury Department. And maybe they go to a cafeteria that might be in their federal building they work at. Well, guess what? They might not be able to buy paper straws anymore because of Donald Trump's order. If I had to go out on a limb, I bet you there weren't any paper straws there anyway, because, I mean, whoever uses paper straws, I know in some states, you know, there's paper straws in use, but I never come in contact with paper straw. But anyways, it would affect the executive branch of the federal government. That's it. It's not a ban. You are free to use paper straws. Companies are free to manufacture paper straws. Companies are free to sell paper straws. And if, for example, if this executive order went beyond that, okay, and the reason why it was limited to that is, again, because that's all he can do. That's all he has the authority to do. He has no authority to ban it anywhere else but in the executive branch and say, you can't buy them anymore. Anyway, what if he wanted it to be, in fact, a nationwide ban on paper straws? Well, that would be a meaningless executive order because he has zero power to do it, and everyone would be free to completely ignore it. Okay, if you were a company making paper straws and Donald Trump actually signed an executive order saying that's illegal, you can no longer manufacture paper straws, you'd call up your general counsel, and your general counsel would say, ignore that. It's a joke. He has no authority to do it. Keep manufacturing the straws. Anyway, okay, I had a couple of notes here. So there's no ban. Oh, keep this in mind, because we're going to keep coming back to this. This is all a distraction. All of this nonsense is distraction. He's got to keep putting out this nonsense to try to distract you from the real damage that his administration is doing. Like Elon Musk behind the scenes, okay? All of that. That's Donald Trump's job. He doesn't know what the hell any of them are doing, and he doesn't care. His job is to be the little distraction puppet. He's supposed to go out there, Donald, just go out there and say stupid shit. You do that better than anybody else. So go out there and continue to say stupid shit, and we'll do the real work of trying to dismantle democracy behind the scenes. So that's what's going on. And here's what I don't understand. Why people aren't mocking him over this stuff? This is what we should be doing. Instead of reacting with outrage over every one of these ridiculous executive orders, because understand, the majority of his executive orders are meaningless nonsense. Like, he just also issued one when I was looking for this paper straw executive order. I saw one about protecting the Second Amendment. It was called something along the lines of protecting the Second Amendment, or protecting Second Amendment rights, something along those lines. And it was nonsense. It was meaningless. It did nothing. All it did is say, oh, I order such and such department head to investigate, any violations of the Second Amendment in the federal government. Some meaningless nonsense about that. It doesn't actually do anything. Nobody's going to actually do anything pursuant to that executive order. What it's designed to do is so that he can, the next time he's doing one of his cult rallies or the next time he goes on Fox News, he can say how he issued an executive order protecting Second Amendment rights, when he actually did nothing. I told you this before he even took office. He uses these executive orders for propaganda purposes. That's all it's distraction and propaganda for the cult. That's what it is. And so instead of people reacting, the sky is falling every time he issues one of these frigging executive orders, calm down and see if it actually does anything, because more often than not, they do nothing. And when he issues a meaningless executive order like, oh, I'm banning paper straws, or I'm protecting the Second Amendment, or I'm renaming the Gulf of Mexico, which he didn't do, I explained that. He renamed basically the American shoreline part of the Gulf of Mexico, because that's all we own. He can no more rename the Gulf of Mexico than he can rename the Atlantic Ocean. Okay, we don't own the Atlantic Ocean. He has no authority to rename it. If he issued an executive order saying he's renaming it to the Ocean of America, it would have no meaning. Just like the executive order on the Gulf of Mexico. It has no actual meaning. Now, I know Google Maps has gone along with it and renamed it. But you know what? I bet you if you're in Mexico and you get on Google Maps, it's not going to say Gulf of America. It's going to continue to say Gulf of Mexico. They're just trying to please the Orange God King. But it's all nonsense. Anyways, he should be mocked for all this crap. Expose him. When he comes out and says, I banned plastic straws, laugh at I mean, did I say plastic? I banned paper straws. Mock him. Mock him. Point out how, no, you didn't. Just a joke. You have no authority to do this. And then you go out and you buy yourself some paper straws and you make videos drinking your friggin' Yoo-hoo with your paper straw, and you mock him and you mock his cult. And the reason is because mockery is powerful, okay? It takes away the aura of power from somebody. The Trump cult loves to own the libs. And if you react angrily to Donald Trump doing something stupid, like trying to, saying he's banning paper straws and saying, he has no authority to do this. He's acting like a king and a dictator. Instead of doing that, because they love that. That's what they want to see. Laugh at them. No, you're not. What a freaking joke. I can still buy paper straws. This is a joke. You're a loser. Donald's a loser. He's lying to you. He's conning you. This is all distraction. Mock. That's what we should be doing. Because it's got to be part of a broader strategy. We've got to convince the American people over the next, the months and years ahead, that this guy is a disaster. We need to dramatically change public opinion against this man. We need to mock him for all this meaningless garbage that he does and pivot to then point out, while he's pretending to ban paper straws, what is he not doing? He's not doing anything about the price of eggs, or the price of groceries, or the price of gas, or the price of housing, or the price of anything else like he promised to do. Instead, he's pretending that he's banning paper straws to own the libs. He's wasting his time pretending that he's renaming the Gulf of Mexico or whatever meaningless nonsense he's doing. Now, he's also doing a lot of seriously bad things, and we should react seriously to those. But most of what he's doing is nonsense, and we need to mock him and point out what he's not doing. Because unfortunately, I think we are in a position in this country where the only way we're gonna get public opinion to turn on Donald Trump, because people are just so friggin' oblivious and they just don't friggin' care and they don't pay attention. It's not by pointing out the lawlessness, which is everywhere, because they don't care about that. They reelected him even though he committed a coup on national TV. They don't care about that. They don't care that he's a criminal. They don't care that he raped a woman. They don't care that he breaks laws like it's a bodily function. They don't care about any of that. The only thing that might cause them to wake the hell up is to point out that he's not actually improving their lives like they thought he was going to, like he promised he was going to, like they all believed he was going to. Now, I'm not talking about the cult. The cult doesn't care. Okay, you will never convince them about anything. I'm talking about people who either didn't vote for him or voted for him thinking that, the economy was better under Trump and he's going to make things better and everything was Joe Biden's fault. Those people, okay? We need to convince as many of those people as possible. Mock him for the meaningless garbage that he does every day and point out that he's not doing anything substantial to actually improve anyone's lives. And one final thing before I go, because this is really been annoying the hell out of me, because he keeps putting out all these executive orders. Why the hell does the media keep covering them? These signing ceremonies, that he does in the executive order, where he's sitting there like an idiot, and he has, an aide come in with a folder saying, telling him what executive order this is, and then he babbles on incoherently for a minute or two before signing it, like he just did here with the paper straws exploding and whatever nonsense he said. Why does the media, paper's about to blow away here. Why does the media continue to cover these signing ceremonies? I mean, it used to be, it was rare to watch, for there to be a signing ceremony conducted by the president for anything. The only time you'd ever see it would be if the president was signing a major piece of legislation. It would happen a few times in a president's administration. Not every day like it's happening right now. And these aren't even laws. They're executive orders, most of which are meaningless. And he's having signing ceremonies and the media is covering it like it's a real thing. Okay. We used to have, when Obama signed Obamacare, the Affordable Care Act, or something else like that. Big legislation, and they're usually, they set up a little table in the Rose Garden, and you got all these senators and congressmen behind them, and they all clap in the photos, and he signs the pens, and he gives the pens out to the members of Congress or whoever who was invited to the signing ceremony, and they make a big to-do about it. Okay, that happens once in a while. Now we have a friggin' signing ceremony from the Oval Office nearly every day for utter nonsense. Why is the media allowing themselves to be played like this? Why are they doing this? They are nothing but state-run TV at this point. It's pathetic. It's absolutely pathetic. And when they're there, do they ask him any serious questions? He says, paper straws explode. Not a single freaking question about that. And he says ridiculous stuff at every one of these things. No questions. Anyways, I'm getting real freaking sick of it. Anyways, that's it. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll talk to you again soon.